Hey y'all, welcome to day 23 of You Only Get One Chance Right. We are so close to the 30-day mark. 1 week away. 1 week away, and I have officially been out of the mental health, behavioral center, hospital, whatever you want to call it, for 30 days. And wow, I've already had a ride, and it's been crazy. There are so many times in the last 23 days that I have thought, maybe I wasn't quite ready to get out of the hospital yet. And yet I have met so many people who inspire me. I have listened to so many stories that are similar to mine and have gotten so much motivation and excitement out of hearing those people speak and talk that while the last 23 days hasn't been all sunshine and roses, it's been pretty great. I've had ups and downs. I've had good days. I've had really bad days. Yesterday, I went to work for the first time in months, and man, was I wiped out at the end of the day. But I loved it. I loved being back at work. I loved having something that was normal for me. So I made a TikTok today. Again, I'm learning this whole social media thing. So for those of you that are like, what is that? And those of you that are like, you don't know what that is, both can happen, right? Depending on how old you are. So I made a TikTok today, and I want to talk about that topic because I think that it's really important, and I kind of touched on it last time. So I gave this shout out to this wonderful, beautiful 16-year-old girl that I know was struggling, and it made me think about how unique we truly are and how beautiful of people we really are. Everybody is. And so I made a TikTok today that asks or says, not asks, but says, if you create a new category of people just like you would be surprised how many people fit into it. And it's so crazy to think about how many people I've spoken with, how many people I've talked with that have mental health battles that they're facing right now. More than at any time in my life have people been more aware of themselves, been more open about how they're feeling and what's going on with them. I met some incredible people while I was in the hospital. I'm not gonna lie to you. They just amazed me. The amount of things that they've been through, and yet they're still here and they still choose to fight every single day, baffles me. I like to play down what I'm going through, and I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people, like when we talk about mental health, they're like, oh, well, it's not that bad. Oh, well, somebody else is going through something so much worse than I am, so it's not that bad. And then you have people on the flip side that are like, oh my gosh, everything's awful. You know, my parents told me to clean my room, and things that just seem so minute to some. But for that particular person, it probably means a lot if they're saying something about it. The more we talk about mental health issues, how we feel, the relationships we have, the more aware we become of our own selves and our surroundings. There is so much importance on that awareness, because if I hadn't been aware that I was struggling and still continuing to put this smile on my face every single day, my husband, who probably knows me the best, if not, you know, my immediate family knows me the best, would have been like, something's off, but I don't know what it is, and she won't tell me, so she must be okay. If I hadn't said something about how much I was truly struggling, this is going to be really hard for some people to hear, but I truly believe that I might not be here today. That is how dark my life became. But I wasn't helping the issue by putting a smile on my face every day and overcompensating for the fact that I just felt awful. Absolutely awful. I pretended like everything was okay because I feel like sometimes that's what we feel like we ought to do, or we should do, or we're required to do, especially when it comes to work, especially when it comes to family and friends. Like, when somebody asks you, how are you doing today? Most people are going to answer with, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm doing all right, how are you? Like, those are typically the answers we get. When we actually ask somebody how they're doing, it's almost become like just another thing we say. We don't really listen to the answer sometimes. And so a lot of people just answer with like, I'm good, I'm great. How are you? Things are going okay. How are you? Like, that is the normal way that conversation goes. And we have made it so normal to answer with those like specific things that if you ask somebody like, hey, how are you doing today? And they're like, you know, I'm really struggling. Like, we almost have a pause like, oh, wait a second. They didn't answer with I'm good. They didn't answer with I'm doing okay. They told me they were struggling. Oh no, what's next? Now I've opened this, excuse my phrase, I know it's an old one, can of worms, right? You've opened this can of worms. You're like, what do I do with it now? How do I respond to that? Like, do I ask them why they're struggling? Is it gonna make it better? Is it gonna make it worse? If I give them a hug, is it gonna make them cry? Is it going to make them even sadder than they already are? Like, we play these scenarios out in our heads like, oh no, like, what's going on? What have we done, right? And it's okay to not be okay. It is. It really is. It is okay to not be okay. And I will continue to say that to myself over and over and over and over again until I believe it. Because a lot of the things that I talk about on this channel are just things. They're ideas. And sometimes I don't even believe my own hype. Like, really. Sometimes I don't even believe the own things I'm saying. I will not tell you guys how many times I've gone back through and watched my videos and gone, maybe that is something like that I can take into consideration, right? But it's coming out of my mouth. But am I really living and really trying to bring these things to the forefront and really trying to make that effort into getting better? I saw some pictures of myself from a couple months ago and then took some pictures today. And man, the difference is pretty insane. You could see the hurt on my face. You could see it in my posture. You could see it in just my expressions, the way I move, the way I talk. Everything has become a little bit brighter since 23 days ago. Now, 23 days isn't a long time. I really truly believe that it takes 30 days to actually like make a habit, and I'm not to that 30-day mark yet. And to be honest with you, I'm really not to that 30-day mark because I've missed a couple of days in between there and to do this vlog with you guys. I want to say for you, like when I say that, but it really is a lot for me to use the camera or the phone or you all as a support system. So I can't really say it's for y'all because a lot of it is for me. We self-talk ourselves into frenzies a lot of the time. I'm very guilty of it. I am guilty of replaying a conversation in my head and going, oh no, man, I shouldn't have said it that way. I don't know what I was thinking. Or if I answer somebody like with, oh, I'm good, or I'm just fine, those negative thoughts just continue to seep in because I'm putting on this show. Most days, everything is a show. Like, we watch reality TV shows, we have vloggers, we have, people that do all these crazy and wild things for, likes and comments and mentions, and we have collaborations and, people, paid influencers and all of these things that it's a show. You're putting your best foot forward. And that's not reality a lot of the time. And it's hard to compare yourself to that reality because it's not. But it's easy to get trapped and it's easy to get sucked into that is a reality. So, for today, when somebody of importance in your life, say your family, your really close friends, even a great coworker that you can trust, if they ask you how you're doing, tell them how you're doing. And even if you feel like you can't put it into words, tell them. Tell them, I'm not really sure. Today is an off day, or, I'm really struggling today, or I'm really anxious. I'm kind of depressed. I barely got out of bed today. Because you need that support system, and I am more than happy to be that support system for you, but you need more than just this vlog. You need people that care and love you, all the time. And you have to remember that you, by saying how you're really feeling, is not a burden to other people. You're not burdening them by telling them that you're not okay. It's okay to not be okay. So the next time you ask that question, how are you today? Which is a normal conversation piece, and you're with somebody you know that you can trust, or you're with somebody that you know that cares a whole lot about you, feel free to really tell them how you're doing. There are so many resources out there that can help you. There are so many daily motivational things that can be sent to your phone. There are group therapies. There's Facebook groups that talk all about mental health illnesses and all sorts of things, right? There are psychiatrists and psychologists and behavioral centers and hospitals, and there's all these things, but you aren't gonna go anywhere until you admit to yourself or somebody else that you're not okay. Let me know what I can do for you. It's part of the reason I'm here, part of the reason I do this. And remember to tell yourself how you're feeling. Tell others how you're feeling. You are unique in your own way, but there is a whole lot of people that are struggling with their mental health. A lot of the time you can find comfort in just talking to somebody that has a similar issue. I am going to head out for the day. I'm going to continue working up here on lots of projects and things that I got going on. But I wanted to tell you guys hello and to tell you, how are you? Comment below if you want me to know. Love y'all. Have a good day.